Hello everyone, happy Friday. Hopefully everybody's coming out to the basketball game tonight. Cheer for the middle school staff against the high school staff. Today we're going to talk about the different two types of court systems, the U.S. court system, the Virginia court system, and we're also going to talk about different types of jurisdiction. So let's start off with the U.S. court system. The highest court in the land is obviously the Supreme Court. There are 9 justices. They have appellate jurisdiction. Hold it, what's jurisdiction? Glad you asked. Let's go to this PowerPoint. All right, original jurisdiction and appellate jurisdiction. So jurisdiction is the authority to hear a court case. Original, what does original mean? So we're talking about blue jeans. The first blue jeans, original blue jeans was Levi's. Original cola was Coca-Cola. What does original mean? The first. What does jurisdiction mean again? Jurisdiction is the authority to hear a case. So what do you think original jurisdiction means? Original jurisdiction is the authority to hear a case for the first time. Okay? So appellate jurisdiction, appeal. Hopefully you're never suspended, but if you are, you feel you didn't do it, your parents believe you, what will they do? They will appeal to the head principal, Mrs. Manning, meaning they will say the punishment is not fair. We have evidence our child is innocent. So appellate jurisdiction is the authority to hear a case from a lower court. They decide whether the person found guilty. Obviously, you're only going to appeal a case if you are convicted of a crime. If you're found not guilty, you're not going to appeal it. People can appeal if new evidence is discovered that proves their innocence, or if something unfair occurred during the trial. So that's jurisdiction, right? Oops, we don't want that. We want this. All right, so Supreme Court. They have appellate jurisdiction. They have very limited original jurisdiction. The Supreme Court only hears original jurisdiction case involving states, saying one state is suing another state for some reason, but it's very limited. They choose which cases to hear. I've heard that out of all the cases sent to them, they only hear about 10% of the cases. And they decide whether laws are allowed by the Constitution through a process called judicial review. All right. Court of Appeals, justices, again, there's no jury. Appeals, appellate jurisdiction, a little hint if you see a question on a test that says what sort of appeals does a court of appeals have, or what sort of jurisdiction does a court of appeals have? It's always going to be appellate. Again, they review decisions made in lower courts, and they review whether the law was applied correctly. Were the wrong procedures used, or does new evidence prove someone innocent? They won't hear an appeal because you thought, I don't know, because you were found guilty. There has to be a reason for them to hear that appeal. And then there's district court. In a federal district court, there's a judge and jury. Obviously, they have original jurisdiction. It's where trials are held and lawsuits begin. Every state has at least one federal district court, and they determine facts for both civil and criminal cases. So what's the lowest court? U.S. District Court. Middle court, Court of Appeals. Highest court, Supreme Court. You can remember the order by SAD: Supreme Court, Appeals Court, District Court. All right, so let's move into Virginia. Well, we're in Virginia, but we're going to move what we're looking at to the Virginia court system. General District Court, there's a judge. They have original jurisdiction of misdemeanors. Remember, misdemeanors are small crimes. Civil cases less than $25,000. And there's also juvenile and domestic relations court. So if juvenile is generally someone under 18, most crimes juveniles commit are heard in juvenile court. However, there are some juvenile court cases that are moved to adult court. And then domestic relations court deals with things like adoption, divorce, things like that. Circuit courts, next court up, judge and jury, original jurisdiction for criminal cases over $25,000, and they have appellate jurisdiction from general district court. So again, we have general district, circuit, next up is Court of Appeals. There's a judge, there's no jury, and they have appellate jurisdiction. So again, we have general district, circuit court, Court of Appeals for Virginia, and then we have the Virginia Supreme Court. Justices, again, no jury. Court of Final Appeal, so they have appellate jurisdiction. Again, they have limited original jurisdiction. I guess if a county was suing another county, it would go to the Virginia Supreme Court. So let's go with general district. Next one up is circuit, Court of Appeals, and Virginia Supreme Court. All right, that's all we have for today. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.